Live. Awesome. Welcome back to UKSM, everyone. Before we get started with the next one, please remember that we are doing this event to try and raise money for the fantastic people with special effect. They try to make lives of physically disabled people better through the use of custom gaming peripherals, making their lives a whole lot better in the process. A fantastic charity, so please give if you can by following the link in the screen description or by typing a link. You can see scrolling across your screen or on information, but every little helps, and we'll be reading donations out periodically throughout the show. Alternatively, you can purchase one of our UKSM shirts or hoodies, and that can be found on our store. Link is also in the description, etc. Right, so I'm going to be your donation reader, Nost. Today, right now, we have Fo, who's going to be running Descent. Fo, I'm going to leave it over to you to introduce you yourself, your run, your couch. So off you go then, mate, you carry on.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Fo, and these are my friends on the couch. It's James and Seth, which are
well
otherwise known
remembered,
as
thank you.
Well remembered, yeah.
other gamer names.
Just found this guy on the side of the street, to be honest.
And yeah, this is going to be Descent 1. So I guess I'll start it down with the countdown and try and explain things after I've already started. First of all, I'm going to do a sneaky loading this previously one I made earlier save file. But then we're starting from a new game. There's nothing to worry about. It's fine. It's completely new game. Nothing broken about it. I'll get into it. So I'll count down. Ready on the countdown?
Ready? Ready for timer?
Yeah. So 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. The first thing I want to say before we go on to any other facts about the game is how the movement is done, because this game is all about movement. It's all about execution of strafing. So as you might know from other speed games, we have like strafe moving, where you hold two directions at once and combine the vectors into a faster speed in that diagonal. But this is a 6-degree freedom game. So you're moving in 3D space, so you have 3 directions you can hold at once and combine all 3 of them at 45 degrees into that combined.
Which is great if you get motion sickness really easily.
Yeah.
And so that's why you'll see me not looking in the direction that I'm going massively for much of it, unless I want to actually aim at something.
Yeah. So you're moving like 2 directions at the same time. Yeah.
That was an intentional death, except I didn't collect the item I wanted before I died. So actually,
He's sitting there.
Have to go do it again now.
I guess that was all in vain.
So probably explain the way the game works normally, like how you play through it.
Yes, go for it if you can.
Obviously, you're going through all these mines, clearing out robots and stuff, and the system always goes. You get a blue key, and then the early levels don't have a yellow key, so it's blue, yellow, red, and then once you get all the keys, then you unlock the area with the reactor in it, which then you have to destroy that. So that's like a mini boss fight. You get loads of enemies. So that's the reactor there. And then once you destroy that, you have the timer at the top. So you see that counting down, and the nice stressful alarms to remember your way to the exit. Which obviously, if you're new to the game or bad at it, like I am, you just end up getting lost and dying down some random tunnel. So yeah.
I think this game was released 1 month before I was born, so like March 1995. Yeah. So it's 24 years old now. Yeah. Quite old for a game like this.
I can't remember which way around it. Was it PS1 and then PC? I can't remember which way around it released. Liam?
Just to let you guys know, I can not hear you very well at all.
Okay.
So.
All right. Was it released on PS1 or PC first?
Probably PC, right? It's a DOS game.
Yeah. The PS1 having a massive disadvantage of horrible controls.
So sometimes you'll see Liam die on purpose, and it's called a death warp. So basically, when you die, you get sent back to the beginning of the level, and sometimes it's just easier to die.
Because you keep your keys, that's the important part.
For the keys basically. Yeah. It saves a lot of time.
So if you pick up the key but it's really far away and you don't want to backtrack, and the door that it gets you through is near the spawn, you might as well go back to the spawn the faster way.
Yeah.
This is a really tough level because it introduces these melee enemies. So far I've been slightly pushing past enemies, but it's actually really awkward in this game. Kind of the more polygons that kind of make contact, you start grinding against them, you lose all your speed. But with the melee ones, they always just stop you dead completely. So this is a big like reset heavy level for the record runs.
Yeah, you can just see how many of those guys there are. Every one of them will stop you. Pretty much kill the run.
Oh, right in the doorway.
So these like green melee ships, you can't push them out the way, so you have to destroy them instead.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of like, you'll see Liam like crash into them quite a few times and blow them up. Every other ship you can just push out the way.
Yeah. Whereas the rest
Oh,
are good enough.
I've also got a new weapon.
Foe is. You can just dodge around their bullets.
Let's work. So I just left mines in that room. It's the first time we've seen mines. We'll see if there are any left or if they actually dealt with the enemies. Hey, they did pretty well.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm using a new weapon instead of the level 1 lasers now, which is the spread fire cannon, which does far more DPS, which is helpful for getting the melee enemies out of the way, of course. In fact, spread fire cannon, so good that it was nerfed in Descent 2 to have a slower fire rate. And the same is true for the by far the strongest weapon in this game, which we'll get to at level 10. And yeah, sorry if I'm finding it hard to say stuff, but this run is like solidly 40 minutes of just solid movement, no break time at like
Yeah. Just 40 minutes of motion sickness and panic.
I'm using the Vulcan cannon here because it's a contact weapon, or it basically is a contact weapon. So it opens doors the fastest because you can't fly into doors immediately. Oops, there's an invisible guy in the way. And each reactor at the end of each level is going to be getting stronger, going to have more health each time I get to one. So I know the kind of amounts that I need to hold fire on them and the number of missiles I'm firing to get enough damage on them before I fly away without looking at the explosion, you know, as you do. So I like to time how fast my movement is with looking at door cycles, and this door cycle here is a really tight one. If I can get back out this door, I've hit the enemies. If I get back out that door before it closes, that's like ridiculously fast movement. So there's a couple of door cycles like that to watch out for. What are you doing around there? So yeah, I am collecting like the blue, yellow, and red keys for each level, but I'm backing into them a lot of the time because they often turn around as you hit them. So you don't always see me actually fly into them, but you can see the lights light up on the bottom left on the cockpit there. Here's the loudest room in the game when all the doors open. And these enemies actually noticed me. Oh, we got back out the door cycle, so we didn't take a lot of damage. I am running on the easiest difficulty because it's the fastest by being able to tank rooms like that.
There we go. Don't forget your extra life.
Oh, thank you very much. I was not going to remember it.
There you go.
So we collect extra lives that are lying around occasionally in this run because, again, I'm running on the easiest difficulty, but I want to do these death warps. And you need to have lives to be able to do the death warps without game overing, obviously. But you don't get as many points to get towards those lives from easy difficulty score. So it's useful to go just out of the way on some of the closer lives to the normal route, so you can do a couple more death warps that save more time than it takes to collect those lives.
Yeah, if you run out of lives, you die IRL. So
Yeah.
This level has like 2 death warps in it.
A little known
And, the first
fact
boss of the
there.
game.
well known fact there.
What?
But there's no other kinds of skips, are there? I believe like Death Warp is the only kind of trick you can really do in this game to speed things up. So other than that, it's
And,
just pure.
shooting really well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just pure strafing, shooting accurately.
And now I get. So I should probably explain also when I death swap. Yeah, I lose all my weapons. You get to keep the key, but you lose the weapons.
Secret weapon. This game is full of secrets, right? Got loads of hidden doors like that.
Okay, there's a lot to explain about this boss here as well.
So this is one of the bosses.
Yeah.
But because he did a little trick at the beginning, the boss is just completely bugged and just sits there.
The boss is supposed to be turning invisible and teleporting around the room.
Yeah, but instead it just sits there like a dummy.
It's basically the only glitch in this run. So for some reason, because the coding is bad, you can go to that level in a different save file, as in you can just go to that level beforehand and just wait around on that level for ages and ages. And that allows the boss to kind of sit there for long enough that he's gone through a load of teleport cycles, and for some reason that variable doesn't get reset when you then start a new game. So that was what I did when I loaded the save file at the start and then went back out to the main menu and started a new game. So the boss kind of has a load of teleport cycles stored that it doesn't move until it's used up that time that we've waited on the level previously.
Flo,
Yeah.
got a moment for a donation?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Awesome. We have £5 in from Tiny Tim. His comment reads, "Hi all, had to donate for the amazing Descent run. I played this game a lot when it first came out and never got past the first boss. Good luck on the run, Flo. Cheers."
Sorry to give no tips on the first boss. I just said break it instead.
Break the game. Yeah, not the only one. That's about as far as I could get.
And we've tried to play it on PlayStation at one point as well, and that's just brutal because you don't have enough buttons on the controller.
Yeah, because this is not just moving in your sort of flat axis. You've got to rotate as well.
Yeah.
There's not enough buttons, especially on a PS1 controller, to do that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, no one's talked about it in the speedruns of this game, but I feel, it may be just a placebo, but I feel like not only do you strafe move in 3 directions, if you also kind of roll towards the direction you're moving as well, you can, well, it definitely helps you corner better, but also,
Something, I don't know.
the main thing that rolling does in the movement for you is you can't pan up and down as quickly as you can pan side to side. So if I want to go around a 90-degree turn, for example, I want to roll so that I'm facing sideways to it rather than looking up or down to it. I'm going to take damage here on purpose.
Sort of like rally driving, but it's 6 axes.
Yeah.
This run could be really messy with it. The spiders getting in the way, but it's not too bad.
Flo, we got another donation in. You ready?
One second, I'll just explain this reactor.
All right, no problem.
It's the first time we die after a reactor, which means you don't have to go to all the way to the exit. And that does mean we lose all our weapons, but we're on level 10, which means we get the most broken weapon in the game that one-shots everything, so it's a fusion cannon. And I'll let that speak for itself while we have a donation, I guess.
So he's basically just got one of the strongest weapons in the game, which is the fusion cannon. He'll probably be using that for the main part of the game now, because it just pretty much 1-shots or 2-shots anything. So.
Right, ready? Right, we got a donation in by someone named E102 Gamma of an amount of £10. A comment reads, "I have never seen this game before, but I find it very interesting, so keep up the awesome run."
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is like my favorite game, definitely. It's what started me speedrunning things. So don't let anyone tell you you can't. You'll ruin your favorite game by speedrunning it. Because definitely hasn't for me. I can play this game forever. So I'd say level 10 is the second hardest level in the game, mostly because of the introduction of all of these guys, the Red Hulks. And they have such a ridiculously high health value that not even the fusion cannon one-shots them unless you charge it up to its maximum value. I'm going to get a marathon safe invulnerability here, which I wouldn't normally pick up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a story of one of the devs after coming back and working on Overload, which is like the spiritual successor to this game, released only last year or I don't know, 2 years ago. Came and looked at like the health value for these red hogs, and they were like, "This must be a mistake. This is far too high." So instead of killing them, we just skip past them all there and one-shot the reactor, because the fusion cannon tends to do that to reactors. Actually, we have the frames kind of set. It's because in the original version of this game, your frame rate dictated a lot of things, like how fast homing missiles could track and how much damage fusion cannons did to reactors. So with the original one, if you had a high frame rate, the fusion cannon for some reason did damage to reactors every frame that it passed through it, so it just always insta-killed reactors on any tap shot. But on this one, we have it's like a source port, but it's as faithful to the original as we can get it. The fusion cannon and all of that other frame rate based stuff is kind of capped at 60, I think it is. Maybe it's 30, I can't remember. So as if it was behaving at 60 or 30, so that we have consistent damage for it, and you don't get auto locked on by homing missiles every time, because that tends to happen as well. You just can't dodge homing missiles from the red hogs and such if you have a high frame rate on the original. Awkwardly selected missiles.
The most stressful area in the game. Every wall is lava, and it all damages you.
That's another melee enemy.
Like your nightmare as a child.
Yeah.
Just the wall, the floor, and the ceiling's just lava. You can't escape.
New version of the game.
That's obviously what is this, Mars looks like? No, I don't know. Mercury. It might be Mercury actually.
Pure lava under the surface.
Oh, I missed one shot on the reactor then.
I don't know, I've played Doom and Mars looks very different in that game.
Yeah.
I think it might be Mercury. I can't remember. I think you go into the Inity as well. Or moons of. You do go to all the moons. Okay. So I need to concentrate on this one. Okay, I see the 3,000 score in the top right, so I know I've hit everything I wanted to hit.
Yeah, I think it's every 50,000 points you get an extra life, is that right? Something like that.
That's true. There's the other way of getting extra lives. Like every 50,000 points or something. So this is the first instance of a death warp where I want to do death warp because the key's really far away, but my weapons are really good at this point. So what we do before that is leave all our weapons near the end of the level so we can go and pick them up again after we death warp. So we kind of do 2 death warps, but it's still worth it because this red key is so far away.
So we have a new donation in. You right? Yeah. Awesome. So we have £10 in through by Ozita. That brings our total donation amount to £500.
Nice.
Woo! Oz messages read: Descent, taking the floor is lava to a new level. Thank you, Oz.
Yeah. Someone should make the cover art for that.
Oh no.
That's their new slogan for that
Yeah.
re-release.
I'm scared of this level. This is the hardest level in the game.
Yeah. Did you explain why you're using the flares to open doors?
Oh, I have not. The fusion cannon is slow to fire and shakes you around when you charge it and knocks you back when you fire it. And also, whenever it touches a wall, its shot kind of just disappears instantly. So it's bad for opening doors. But what you can do, while still having the fusion cannon selected, I might die here, 'cause yeah. Hello. what you can do, while still having the fusion cannon selected, is to fire flares, because you can fire flares at any time with the F key. Press F to flare, and that they do 1 damage, so they open doors the same as any other weapon. So that's very useful when you don't want to have to stop and fire the fusion cannon at just for a door.
Oh yes.
Nice.
All the weapons back. It's very satisfying picking up like 10 or so weapons.
It's like Dark Souls, you go back to
Yeah.
Dark Soul.
Yeah. It's sort of a sense of relief, I think,
Yeah.
as well.
Oh man, that's since I'd waited longer on the level there because I had to die and come back. The enemies in that room had moved around a bit. Normally the mega missile shot into that room is supposed to take them all out, but one of them body blocked. So now I'm on the Vulcan cannon, much for the same reason. I don't want to use the fusion to open doors and stuff, and I've already gone through this whole section. So I'm just using the fastest weapon to hit the door. I'm actually going to wait for the homing missile. I really don't want to. Normally I'm okay if I die on the reactor here because it's a really hard room, but I've already died on this level once now, so now it's looking bad if I do. This is definitely the hardest part. Can any of you drop a shield? No? Okay, fine. I've missed.
Oh no.
I could play it safe and like fire quad lasers around the corner, but I used to do that.
Much more exciting.
Like one homing missile from one of those guys does about 22 damage, so probably kill me.
Still going.
Oh my god. Still a homing missile behind me.
I'm getting so confused now just looking at this. I'm like, what's going on now?
I made it through the level, that's the important thing. The hardest level. Okay,
When you've
so
been to like Alton Towers after like a few too many rides.
I do still have 2 lives here, so I am going to do this death warp here, where to leave all my weapons near the end of the level again, and then come back after I go really far out of the way.
Nice.
So definitely having to keep track of my lives here, so I don't accidentally just do a death warp I'd normally do on the route and just game over. This guy has another safety and vulnerability in him. So it's right on the route anyway. And shooting lava does loads of splash damage both to yourself and the robots around, so it's always useful to clear out a room or kill yourself instantly if you want to death warp or something. Oh, invisible guy. You can get cloaked variants of all the robots. Okay. This level is a slightly nice. A slower, kind of slightly mazier level after the hardest level before. So. Okay, so really far away from the spawn point where the red door is. Here's the red key.
Nice.
There we go.
And now we're back at the red door.
Yeah. Time to collect all those weapons.
Bunch of weapons.
Oh, that guy didn't drop a cloak. That's a random chance. Try and one-shot the reactor if I get it right. There we go.
Nice.
One shot.
Straight through the middle.
Boom.
Yeah, the fusion cannon doesn't like decrease in damage if it penetrates through multiple enemies and stuff, but it just keeps going forever until it hits a wall.
There's quite a lot of secrets in this game, so there's like hidden walls and stuff like that. We're just going through one of them there.
See if I can land this shot. It's a difficult one.
Very,
I
very
think
precise flaring.
Yeah. Just trying to open the doors as soon as possible, so they do have a time before you can clear them. And then a lot of it now is also just making sure I know when to start charging up the fusion cannon to the maximum amount when I need it, which is like way before you would get to the point where you need to actually let go and fire it. And that's because, well, I need to manage that more carefully because once you charge it up to a certain amount, it starts doing damage to you as well. But it doesn't get to its maximum damage until after it starts doing damage to you. So if you want it at its maximum damage, you have to start charging it really early. But not early enough that you kill yourself by doing it. Yes, we killed the Red Hulk at the back there. So that means we can just sneak through here, bump them out of the way, not care about them, and one-shot the reactor again.
Nice.
What a shot.
A good shot there.
Yeah, and those shots are difficult because your ship shakes randomly when you're charging the fusion cannon.
Actually, the more you hold it, the more chaotic it gets.
Yeah.
Also the fact that you've got enemies just like
right in your
in your face, like hello.
Yeah, and when they hit you with missiles, you also get ship shaken.
Yeah.
And you've got like 1 life left.
I didn't explain why we're playing with the music off as well.
Oh yeah, so you don't play with the music on because the game loads faster. That's literally the only reason why, and we've got to save more time. So
Yeah, at
play with the music off.
at like the exit sequences and when each level starts loading, it just loads almost instantaneously if it doesn't look for the music file. So this is the last reactor we can one-shot with the fusion cannon before their health gets too high. Well, I tell a lie. Actually, you can't with this one. You can't one-shot it, but you can if you fire 1 missile at the same time just to get over that damage threshold. So we'll try and
1.5 shot.
yeah, try and get there to clear the guys out of the way. There we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Back out of there before all the missiles get fired into the tunnel I came through.
Yeah, so after this, you've kind of got to sit there and, well, not sit, but strafe around whilst charging up more shots.
There's a couple of like spots where you fly into rooms, a load of guys fire missiles at you, and then you fly out of the room before the missiles get to the door where you first flew in, or you fly into the back of the missiles as you're coming back out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and line up these guys. I only got
Just like get out of the way.
Yeah.
only got 1.5. Because of the damage from the fusion cannon maintaining through all of them, it's faster if you can get the shot through all of them, but that's a really tough shot to get to the back one. Gonna come back through there, and those guys are dangerous. Those guys fire the contact weapon, the Vulcan cannon, so whenever they see you, you always just take some free damage. So this door cycle is really tight. Let's see if I can get it. Yes. I wasn't expecting to get that one. Not with opening it with the Vulcan as well. And I'm on a good amount of health to not pick up the safety and vulnerability here. Famous last words. So I'm going to need two shots on the reactor room, on the reactor in this one. Oh my god, these are the mine layers.
So tight.
And mines seem to do like the same amount of damage to you no matter what difficulty you're on, I swear, they just do so much damage. 23, we're fine. Fine. I only have 1 life here, so this is a death warp I'm going to skip. Normally I would do a double death warp on this level as well to leave my weapons somewhere and collect them. But I lost 1 life where I didn't want to, so I'm 1 life short. So I would die on this blue key, so now I just have to remember how to get back. I probably still could have died on the blue key, but then not done the second death warp. That probably would have been easier, but oh well. Here we go. Get me out of here. Normally I would death warp there on the yellow key. Time loss on this one, all because of the knock-on effect of dying on the dying on level 13 there. Okay, this probably isn't the right way. All right, this room is completely maze-like. I have to check the map.
This is what the game looks like when I play it. I'm just sat in this screen the whole time.
That is a lot of how you have to play the game casually because the levels are pretty maze-like.
Yeah. Just pausing every 30 seconds. Oh no, I've gone down the wrong corridor again.
It's like you just stare at the map for about a minute and you just feel like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
Someone send help.
I remember when we
Mayday, I'm stuck in Mars in a bunch of lava.
We fly into the back of that
It's
missile.
just average Friday, just stuck in Mars. I remember when we played it multiplayer that one time, like ages ago,
Yeah.
and it you on the map it shows you where your teammate is. And I was just watching him go around, just collect all the keys, whilst I'm still in the start area, just not having a clue where I was supposed to go.
Yeah, there is still like a multiplayer community for this, still alive and kicking. And there's like a competitive ladder for 1v1 matches as well.
Yeah.
If you search for the Observatory, I think it is, Ronckley hosts it.
Right.
But,
Do you think you'll ever do that?
I'm really bad at it.
Okay.
Just complain all the time.
Why is it so different though?
Like I might be able to fly, but I can't aim. And also all the AI enemies don't really lead their shots, so I suppose I can't dodge either.
Yeah.
They start leading their shots on Descent 2, but then Descent 2 has a way easier difficulty, so none of their shots do any damage. Like this game was like considered too hard when it came out, so Descent 2 had like a twice as easy difficulty for its easiest difficulty.
Yeah. Have you ever run Descent 2?
Yeah, I've learnt it. I haven't run it to like the top levels like I have with this one. Like I've really spent loads of time on this one to finally get like a sub 40-minute time and then a sub 38. I think it's like 37:59 is the current.
Okay. So it's a bit shorter.
Not even. I'm not even sure. Like Descent 2 has afterburner, so you
Okay.
get faster flight.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't charge. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I charged the fusion up enough, but missiles finished it. Okay, here's a really gimmicky level, the only one that does this. The keys are all contained inside robots, and the robots run away from you very fast. So you have to get to them very quickly, or else you'll lose them. And lose and lose all the time on this level, basically. So luckily I know where they spawn, or where they're placed in the level editor. The red one is the hardest, that was the yellow.
I think we're on level 18, and there's
20.
27 levels in this game.
Yeah.
And there's 3 secret levels that we don't do.
And we got the red guy before he moved.
Just casually fly past all those prisoners.
I might be backing into like 3 red hogs, but it's fine. Just kill the reactor and get out of there. They can only fire 1 missile at a time, they're not that fast. Okay, so we have a decent amount of lives again. I've skipped like that 1 death swap before. Well, that 1 death swap basically skipped 2 death swaps, so I'm back up to the amount of lives that's safe, kind of thing. Which means I can do an interesting death swap on the next level after this.
More lava.
Ah, Grace.
There's like different power-ups as well. So right now he's got like a cloaking device.
Oh yeah, it's true. Cloaking and
So the enemies can't see him, so he can just skip past everything.
There's another extra life.
There's also invulnerability, which makes his shield like kind of glow. You'll see that sometimes. If he grabs it, that is.
I will do it at the end of the next level.
So his cloaking device is about to end.
So here's a little puzzle for the reactor. You have to make it open up in the middle by flying into these doors in the correct sequence. And that was the sequence, so there it is.
Yo, another cloaking device, and off he goes. Into the abyss.
Okay. Death swapping here, so I really don't want to collect that invulnerability in the middle of the level. That would be very bad, because I need it to finish the level. Okay, my weapons are going to be spread out more than I want, but that is where I want to death swap and leave my weapons. I want it to kind of be down in that middle pipe, so my weapons aren't spread out in this room, but oh well. So now we do the rest of this level, the rest of this level, without those weapons, which is more difficult, but faster. And we get a backup fusion cannon right here, which we only need because there's like a red Hulk in the way, and it's still worth picking up. It's the amount of health that they have. of the spiral. No one knows how to move up it optimally. Oh, I didn't quite charge enough. Luckily, I didn't die. There's a red key, and we don't have to go all the way back around the spiral because we did this, that's all. So let's actually collect these.
It's such a mess. Just
Yeah,
everywhere.
I want to kind of have my missiles saved up for the final boss, all the strongest missiles.
Nice.
Yeah, those guys, those reactors are a lot stronger now, aren't they?
Yeah, this is almost the last few reactors, so they take a lot of shots. See if we can sneak past this guy, the only melee enemy that kind of lets you past. No. Sometimes if you're in the exact bottom left corner, as you shoot.
Got quite the crowd, mate. People.
Oh, this is the first level with fusion hulks, which are like the biggest normal enemy in the game. Actually, I think they're in the game code in the level editor. They're called mini bosses, basically. They fire the fusion cannon, which, as we've come to learn, is really overpowered. So they can often kind of one-shot you if you're in the same room as them. And there's two of them in the reactor room behind the reactor. Did we get a cloak from this guy? We did not. So I'll be taking a bit of damage here, which makes the reactor room more dangerous. Like, there's a secret cloak behind the wall, like literally 2 seconds out of the way, but I was stubborn. Just rely on RNG to give it to me instead. No. So now I'm at much greater risk of being one-shot with these fusion hulks coming up. So let's try and kill the reactor as fast as possible. Here they are, behind the reactor. Nice.
Dealt with.
There we go, we got out of there. And then all these trapdoors open up on the way back out. Which puts us, this is where I feel like I get to be in like the final stretch when this level starts. Not sure why, it's like the last 3 levels I've faced. Or is this the 4th last level? The last one's very short with the final boss. So, there's a marathon safe invulnerability over there, which I'm not getting. I haven't got it in years. Who needs it? But now you can blame me if I die, because I knew that there was something I could have done. I've done it. Luckily, that fusion hulk is facing away from us, so we can just completely kill it before it turns around. So there's a red key. I'm going to pick up this in case we don't get a RNG cloak drop again here. Because I really want a cloak drop to drop from this guy. Yeah, there we go. Because there's loads of homing missiles in the reactor room, and the homing missiles can't home onto you when you're cloaked. Oh, I used all my concussion missiles. That's not what I wanted to do for this level. Oh well. Missiles hardly do any damage to the reactor compared to the fusion cannon, so it doesn't really matter.
Nice. One down.
I'm killing specific enemies that I know are going to be in the way if I leave them when I'm backtracking through here in a second. These ones I don't need to kill, because as long as I dodge their shots and don't die, then it shouldn't be a problem. And stopping to shoot the fusion cannon at anything is slower. As much as it one-shots them all, it's still slower than literally firing past them. So this shot's really hard because the ceilings of this tunnel is so low. And as you see, if the fusion cannon so much as glances the ceiling there, it just disappears and doesn't do any damage. Which means I had to tank a load of damage coming through here because that shot didn't land. So that means I will be going for this invulnerability, which I would not have otherwise. we go. Big dark rooms. I like big dark rooms in this in these levels. As much as we were saying the levels are confusing, like I really enjoy the level design of looking through them all in the level editor.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the last reactor. No, what am I talking about? There's one more. But that's like the second strongest reactor in the game. Because the last level doesn't have a reactor, of course, it has a boss robot. I do have enough lives here, so I'm going to do this. I had to check for a second. Leave all my weapons there. Means I don't have any weapons to get through those guys, but we'll just shove on through anyway. Oh, missed a door. Try and get past this guy, because there's no way we're killing that guy without a fusion cannon. There's loads of fusion hulks outside these grates in the starting area, so they can sometimes snipe you as you come through. I'm going to try and finish this level without an invulnerability. Like, you can either collect an invulnerability for the final reactor room, because it's very dangerous, or you can use that cloak instead. So I'm leaving that cloak until the reactor room. So I have a lot of health now, so it should be able to get me through. And we're going to collect Mega Missiles in these secret doors here for the final boss. So Mega Missiles are the strongest missile in the game, and completely obliterate yourself if you find them anywhere near yourself, so must do a lot of damage to the final boss as well, right? There would actually be faster death warps on this level, but interestingly you're forced to pick up a invulnerability, so you can't death warp at some point in the middle of it. So, final reactor, the strongest reactor of them all.
Oh, come on.
So, enemies will fire at the last spot they saw you fire something if you're cloaked. So that's how I was able to dodge one homing missile there just to be safe. Okay, so the final level. You can only hold 5 Mega Missiles, so I use one there to kill a red hole, because we pick up one more in the final level. We're going to try and ride this invulnerability all the way through. All the way through the piles of fusion hulks which appear in a second.
Yeah, push through all those guys.
That one we're just going to ignore. It did shoot us in the face, but luckily we're invulnerable. Okay, let's see if I can land the shot through these. So I want to hit the one at the end of the hallway as well. I didn't. Oh man.
Big boy.
My shot banked too low, wobbled too low. So now this one might kill me. Actually, let's do this. Yeah, there we go. Smart missiles have homing blobs that explode off the wall there, so you can fire it around the corner. I would have used all the smart missiles on the final boss to make it slightly faster, or try to make it slightly faster. There's a setup depending on whether he's invisible or not. But it's fine. I'll just do it as if I had all the smart missiles. So we're going into the final boss. No, this is not smart missiles. There we go. Ah, they didn't home in on him, so he must have been invisible as they exploded. So we just pick up the invulnerability in time before he fires the Mega Missiles at us. Again, we've done the boss exploit, so he's frozen in place.
He just sits there staring at you in the void.
Sit there whilst invisible, but
and
not actually
quad
moving.
lasers do the most DPS, funnily enough, to our bosses, so that's why we switched to quad lasers for it. And time is coming up when I cross this, so that is time.
Nice.
Yes.
You got second, mate.
So, in-game time is 42. I was trying to get less than 40, but yeah, unfortunate deaths. I couldn't do all the death warps, but
Would you like to know your time?
yeah. What's the marathon time?
Your time was 42:43.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that was Foe, everyone, with Descent and 8%. Next up, we're going to have Bexy with Tomb Raider 2. So make sure to stick around for that. And if you want to check out the rest of our schedule, then feel free to find it down in the stream description. And if you want a comprehensive look of all of our upcoming runs over the course of the entire event, just type an exclamation mark schedule into the chat and take a look at our Horaro page. Also remember, we're doing this for special effect, so please kindly give whatever you can, bit subs, including Twitch Prime subs, to our channel and count towards our total. And again, our current donation amount is at £500, bang on. So hopefully we'll try and reach the next 500, see if we can get 1,000 by the end of the event, let's hope.